name is Alice. I go by Hello Alice here on YouTube, and I'm here today to share a sketchbook with you. So this is going to be a sketchbook tour. So this is actually going to be a tour of my sketchbook and some works relating to it that I did for my thesis. In college, I just graduated from Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design with my degree in 3D animation. I do also have a Bachelor's of Fine Arts from Colorado State University in graphic design and painting, so I have 2 degrees. This is my second, but they are both bachelors. Because I want to be a concept artist, I focused most of my thesis on concept art, and I had a whole story that I came up with, and I did all the concept art for the short animation that I would create from that story. So this is the way that I presented it for my thesis show, and it's in this like nice leather bound binder from Target. However, I did sketch it in a sketchbook like this. This isn't the original sketchbook because that is gone now. However, this is the same brand. It's by Art Alternatives. It is an 8.5 by 11 inch sketchbook, spiral bound with 80 sheets of 75-pound paper, and they are perforated so you can take them out really easily. I really like this sketchbook. It's really good for doing like big, large sketches in it, and I still do a lot of work in this type of sketchbook. This is my personal one. So like I said, I put this all in a binder, so this was for my thesis show, so I'm going to go ahead and show you what is inside. Okay, so as you can see over here, I have the Art of Adventure sketchbook. This is just something I printed out with some kind of faint images, sketches in the background just to introduce the sketchbook. And if you open it up, over here on the right page, I have my storyboards for the story. So the basic gist of the story is you see this girl, she's running through a forest, she's running through lava fields, she's battling a dragon, the dragon type monster creature. There's another little girl that the dragon type monster creature has captured, or it appears to have captured. And she basically goes through this whole adventure. You see her, here she is at the crevice, and here is the dragon, and she is fighting the dragon, and then she throws the sword away, and the dragon chases after the sword, and she rescues the little girl. And as she's rescuing the little girl, the monster has come back and is trying to get her attention, and in the process of getting her attention, accidentally sends her and the younger girl flying into the crevasse, which point it fades to black. And I don't have the storyboard for this part of the story, but basically it turns out that they are in their living room and playing. They are 2 sisters. The monster was their bulldog puppy, and he had gone chasing after the wooden sword that they were using, like it was a stick. So it's kind of about sisterhood and imagination and all of that good stuff. So yeah, these are my storyboards. I did these in graphite with just a brush pen. I believe it was, yeah, this brush pen, the Pigma FB. These are really nice, but they do get frayed really easily and kind of stop using their ink. So I don't know. Anyway, after the storyboards, I have the start of my characterization for the eldest of the 2 children. So her name is Tilly. She's kind of the main adventure character, and I just kind of started playing around with some stuff. So figuring out her outfit here, more outfit stuff. Over here, I wasn't sure of the style that I wanted her in. I just knew what she looked like, so I kind of started playing around with just doodles of her in her natural habitat, trying to figure out how her style was going to look. So I originally started with this guy right here, and as you can see, she's super short. She needs to be taller because she's actually older. And I kind of came around to these guys, and this was sort of the finished style that she was drawn in, and that her character design sheet was drawn in. So yeah, I really like this one. She's like preparing to fight. And I don't think any of these have color, but she has pink hair. This was me trying to get emotions, and none of these looks like her except for this one. This is upside down. Sorry. More little sketches, just trying to figure out her character. And then this is Abby. So Abby is the younger sister, and this was me trying to figure out her face, messing around with hairstyles. We ended up going with this one, although I do like the other 2. I think they're cute. Again, this was before I had settled on a style, just kind of breaking it down into really simple shapes. I wanted her to have a much squarer face than Tilly. Still trying to break stuff down, trying to figure out how I was going to draw her eyes and her nose. So as you can see, there's a lot of that over here. And again, more face work. This is where I really found her character on this page. There's always like one page where I feel like I found their character, and this was it. I was just kind of drawing until it felt right, and this was what felt right to me, especially these three right here. I was like, that's Abby, that's Abby. So after I kind of had her character a little bit more, this was some more refined sketching based on her actual like proportions and style. So this is her with Muffin, who is their little puppy. And Muffin doesn't want to go for a walk, and they're best friends, and they're watching the sunset, and she's giving him cuddles, and it's just really cute. So over here I have some prop design. This was for Tilly's sword. So Tilly obviously has a sword throughout, and I was just trying to determine whether I wanted to go with a classical sword or more of like a Three Musketeers type sword. I played around with a lot of different styles and designs, Celtic knots, and all of that. And then we move on to Muffin and the monster. I'm really bad at drawing animals, so this was definitely hard for me trying to figure out how to draw a dog. He's based off of a bulldog puppy. This is his butt from his final character sketch. It's just on the back of the sword sketch, so that's why it's at the beginning. But again, I was trying to figure it out. He's really wrinkled here, and I liked it, but I wanted it more simple. This was playing around with different facial expressions. How does a dog express emotion kind of thing, and also how his muzzle and bottom jaw connected when his mouth was open. That was really hard for me to figure out. More stuff. I think he looks more like a pug in some of these iterations, and the end is sort of like a bulldog pug mix. More playing around with face and how I was going to draw his face. And then this is where I started finally figuring out Muffin and how Muffin worked and how I was going to draw Muffin. So this is Muffin sad in the rain because the rain is hitting him on the head and he's sad. And then this is his final character design. Front view, side view, and you already saw the back view at the beginning. I do apologize for the glare on these pages, by the way. It's because they're in these little sleeves. So then we move on to the monster, and the monster is Muffin. Muffin is the monster, and so obviously I wanted to base it somewhat off of a bulldog, and I wanted him to have dog-like characteristics and tendencies, but I was also looking at dragons and lions in terms of anatomy. So I started out here, and this was before I'd figured really much of anything out. This was some of the first stuff I did. I started with silhouettes and started trying to figure out where I was going to go from there. This was the root of everything, although I do still really like this. Then I went to here where I really liked these sketches, but I felt like he looked too wise and like grandfatherly almost, and also I felt like it was going to be really hard to consistently draw him, and he was very detailed and more closer to a realistic proportions, and I wanted it to be more simplified and stylized. This was figuring out the anatomy of him. So this is his skeleton that I drew based off of dogs and lions. And then I took the skeleton and I drew his musculature structure over the top. Again, I think this was heavily based off of the lion. And then this was the last thing, which I drew over the top of the skeleton and the musculature, and this is essentially the outline for how he worked in his original iteration. So after that, I decided to really start pushing myself stylistically and trying lots of different weird angles and shapes and trying to simplify his design to see kind of what came out of it. So things got really spiky and anime, and then really curvy, but right here is where I found him. This sketch is where I found him, and I was like, hey, you're here! And there were still a couple changes from the sketch in terms of the placement of the horns. I think changed just because they became problematic, but this was where I really found him as a character. So then I started drawing him in various different positions based off of dog activities, so chasing his tail, licking his bits, chasing the tail again, and then even simplifying it even more, trying really skinny wrists and all of that to figure out his character. And as you can see, his horns have already started moving back, but in the final design, they move all the way back here to his upper temple. So you can see here they're on the front of the face, and here they're on the side of the face. And that's just because they became too much of an issue when he had to do things like eat or catch a sword with his mouth. But I do really like this stuff. I really like how his character design came out. He's a cute little dude. This is him numbing on a bone, and it's a people bone, but he says, "Rawr, fear me, I'm cute." And more stuff with him. So the last couple pages I have are just some preliminary sketches for some ideas for final concept art. Some of it was finished, some of it was never finished. But this is a sketch of Tilly. This is Abby, like in the cave waiting for the monster. This is an idea I had of the monster being in a cave. And this was a sketch. It's really fine so you can't really see it, for Abby sort of lost in the forest looking up. And I did do all of these sketches in colored pencil, if you couldn't tell. I really enjoyed throughout this whole process sketching in colored pencil and then even going over and darkening the lines with a different color or darker colored pencil. It made a lot of sense to me, and I was able to really work things out and then get more detail over the top in the darker color, and now that's the primary way I sketch. I also really liked it because it didn't smudge graphite everywhere. So that is that sketchbook, but I am going to show you a couple finished watercolor / gouache pieces from this that I do have. So the first one you guys have seen already, and I can't fit it all onto my camera, so I'm just going to kind of do this. And this is something that I did on my channel. It's the first time I ever tried gouache. Things are definitely off here. Tilly is way too old. Their anatomy is really off. As you can see, her face is sort of like a mask on her head, which is huge. I was really happy with how the monster turned out, how Little Muffin turned out right here. The sword is a little weird, but as you can see, I mean, his final design was ready by the time that I painted this because his horns are all the way back here. But this was just like a really quick sort of expressive piece. I was getting a little stuck on stuff, and my teacher wanted me to kind of do something like a painting to try to get out of some of the issues that I was having, and it definitely helped. So that was this guy. Then I have this piece, which is a watercolor piece, which I'm actually really happy with, even though it's relatively simple. It's watercolor and watercolor pencil, and it is basically a concept art piece of the canyon that the monster lives in. So up here is the lava fields and where Abby was being kept, but this is from the floor of the canyon. And yeah, I just like this piece. The next one I have, I'm not really sure on the composition, definitely is a little lacking, but whatever. It is the monster all asleep in his cozy little cave. I'm definitely happier with this now than I was when I first started it. This required a lot of reworking. So yeah, this is watercolor pencil, and Prismacolor color pencils with some ink lines. So yeah, little monster asleep in his cavern. And the last painting I have to show you is the one that I am probably most happy with, and this is little Abby. She is lost in the woods. This was a really good chance for me to experiment with the environment of the world and figure out how I was going to do it stylistically. I really wanted a simple stylistic approach to things, and so this was really fun. I also got to play around with weird colors. There's a lot of weird colors in my thesis. I really love playing with colors. So Abby and Tilly both have purple. Abby has purple hair and Tilly has pink hair. There's a lot of purples, pinks, and oranges throughout. So this was fun to be able to make the trees pink. Okay, so I just realized I do have a few more little sketches, or finished pieces rather. So this was based off of a sketch that you guys saw in the sketchbook. This is Abby pulling Muffin, who doesn't want to go on a walk. I did two of these. So I did that one, and then I did this one, which I like a little bit better. This is again Abby and Muffin, and they're just sitting there looking at the clouds and the sky, and it's a peaceful little scene of Abby and Muffin. So the last one that I have to show you is this guy, and I'm going to zoom in real quick. So this is when I was trying to figure out the forest, and I was trying to figure out what kind of colors I wanted to use and the style that I wanted to use, and I ended up leaning towards this one, although in that picture of Abby the forest is pink, and here it is more blue and ghostly. I don't know. But yeah, this was fun. I really like this actually, like these 4 little vignette kind of scenes. So I totally almost forgot this one, but I do also have this. I'm not happy with this, to be honest. The paper was not taking paint the way I wanted it to. This is the Strathmore, I think 400 or 500 series, and it just was breaking down. The paint was blurring really badly. It just wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, but I thought I would show you guys it anyway. This was a larger version of this guy, and it was just crazy because this was on a different paper. This was on the Sennelier paper that I adore, and just the difference using the same colors and the same paints and the same techniques was just mind-blowing to me. So paper is important, people. But I thought I would show you guys it because, you know, it's not awful and it does kind of show the mistiness of the forest. And this would be the scene when Tilly is emerging. So there was originally going to be Tilly in the center with her sword kind of silhouetted coming out there. So that is my thesis sketchbook and some of the works that I did for my thesis. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know if you have any questions down below about my thesis or animation school or anything like that. I would be happy to answer them. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell if you want notifications. I do upload every Friday. Come join the Wonderland fam. We would be happy to have you. We have a lot of fun. And yeah, thanks for watching, and as always, have a great rest of your day. Bye guys!